सर, सबसे पहले होली की इस त्योहार के अवसर पर मैं आप सबको, हमारे सारे साथियों को और देशवासियों को शुभकामना जताना चाहते हैं। दूसरी बात यह है कि हमारे रेल मंत्री, हमारे बहन दर्शना जी सब यहाँ बैठे हैं और आज इस मौके पे दो चार बात करना चाहते हैं, ज़्यादा नहीं, क्योंकि सारे बात यहाँ हो चुके हैं। मैं ज़्यादा बात दोहराना नहीं चाहते। देखिए, ये रेल हमारे देश की कितने महत्वपूर्ण है, ये सदन में बैठते हुए हम सबको महसूस होते हैं। If we observe the demands of the respective MPs in Rajya Sabha or in Lok Sabha, we come to a conclusion that the predominant share of demands expressed by our honorable members belong to railways. So it is an eloquent testimony that railway itself is recognized as an crucial infrastructure which integrates the nation, which increases the trade, and naturally it may be conveniently regarded as an institution of nation building. But having said all, I must say that the scene and glory that was earlier enjoyed by the railway itself has little been petered away, whether it is admitted by minister or not. मेरा जो मंत्री है काफी काबिल आदमी है, शिक्षित आदमी। दर्शना बहन जी सराहना कमाना शुरू कर दिए हैं। In the Union Budget 2022-2003, which was presented in the Parliament on 1st February 2022, total budgetary estimate amounts to 39,44,909 crore, out of which rupees 1,40,367 crore have been allocated to the Ministry of Railways, which comes to merely 3.6% of the total budget allocation. Here it has been suggested that the capex fund should be increased, and I think there is no dispute of the intention and objectives of, hiking the capex fund. But the problem is how the railway will be able to mop up the resources to provide the fund in order to build the requisite infrastructure that has been proposed in the railway budget. Yes, in the railway budget, capex fund has been worked out 14% higher than the budget estimates of 21-22. But minister must acknowledge the fact that gradually railway has been relying upon the unbridled borrowings, because your internal resources has been declining. It has been observed by the concerned standing committee also. Your extra budgetary resources, your budgetary resources also are not adequate in order to meet the requisite fund that has been sought for. So you are gradually relying upon the borrowings which may come under extra budgetary resources. So certainly it will point out a serious question on financial health of the railways. Here you have also mentioned that operating ratio which was 2020 and 21 97.45%, 21-22 98.93%, more or less 99%. Again, you have suggested in this year's budget 22-23 96.98%. It clearly indicates the fluctuation of the operating ratio. Even I can say that it may further increase if you calculate the other expenditures incurred upon you in regard to pension and other expenses. So certainly, it's a very dismal situation in so far as operating ratio is concerned. Sir, yes, it is true that railway should be run with a view of earning profit in order to sustain the mode of transport. Sir, we are all very much enamored by the fascinating mode of transport that is called rail or train. Train is simply a small world moving through the larger world. That is why it is often called the microcosm of our country, of India. It is simply a nation within a nation. This kind of great institution should be seen growth, should be seen development. And to that end, there should not be any dearth of fund towards the railway budget. There is no dispute of it. It is astonishing to note that in each and every year, Indian Railway cater the service, especially the Indian Railway used to ply more population than the entire world taken together. So it is a mean achievement, but the fact is this achievement has been attained due to the 1,000 years of our endeavor, 100 years of our endeavor. That should not be forgotten also. Sometime rail was run by a steam, thereafter we brought diesel, now it is electric. So there is a continuous process of evolution attached to the growth of railway. But the fact is, since the initial days of our independence, we have never made any qualm of rendering the social commitment to the people of our country. That is why railway should not be treated exclusively as a commercial entity. Rather, we should bear in mind that railway is destined to serve social commitment, especially in view of the people of our country at large. Here I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister that in order to contain the spread of COVID-19 virus and to minimize the travel-related risks to elderly citizens, Indian Railways withdrew the concessions available to senior citizens on unreserved and reserved railway tickets from March 2020 onward. As per the Ministry of Railways, this step was taken to discourage them from making non-essential journeys. Concessions have continued for 4 categories of Divyangan, 11 categories of patient and student. Before the pandemic, Indian Railways used to provide concession to more than 50 categories of passengers. These include certain categories of Divyang passengers, senior citizens, freedom fighters, sports persons. Further, the Indian Railways also provides concession to railway employees by way of privilege passes, privilege ticket order, and complimentary passes. The concession vary from 10 to 100% of the fare depending on the category of person. May I like to know whether the regime of concession has been restricted or it has been again restored in the pre-COVID situation? That I am simply want to know from our Honorable Railway Minister. Second thing, the recovery of traffic in 2021-22 is very vague, and experts are of the view that the rate of growth of passengers may not match the growth pre-COVID, at least in the short term. I mentioned at least in the short term. But here also, I would like to mention that there has been an exorbitant price in the rail fare post-COVID. I will give you an example. Per pre-COVID, the cost of Delhi to Howrah Rajdhani 3 AC fare was rupees 2,700 which included one snacks, one dinner and one breakfast and the cost of bedroll. Today the same ticket cost rupees 2,700, which does not include the cost of meals. The meal cost has to be paid separately, which cost rupees 400 for 3-tier AC and second tier AC. So the effective cost of the journey is now rupees 3,100. That means an increase of 17%. 17%. So you are in a better position to make ourselves acquainted with what is the present status of the railways thinking, and also you are going to provide other concessions which had been enjoyed for long by the people of our country. Sir, may I also draw the attention of the minister that yes, number of members, eminent members have raised the issue of recruitment. See, my simple reaction is, I do not have any dispute of the objectives of the ministry, but the fact is, in the history of independent India, you have ever seen this kind of chaotic situation? I am simply asking. This kind of chaotic situation, this kind of confusion was never witnessed, which resulted injuring in many students caused by police excesses and irreversibly damaging their careers prospects. Students of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh bore the brunt of such excesses. May I simply put the query, whether this kind of unsavory situation could have been averted had the railway been taken any preemptive measure? That must be explained by the minister. Yes, you have made a very succulent statement in the wake of the chaos, but before that time, everything had been occurred. So you promise some commission, some inquiry, etc., etc. I do not know how many preventive measures you are going to adopt in the wake of such kind of mismanagement. I think it's a mismanagement, it's a gross failure, it's a severe deficiencies of this railway. You must admit it. Sir, I also like to flag the attention of the minister that बंगाल में आप जानते हैं कि गुवाहाटी बीकानेर की ट्रेन 2 महीने में हादसा की शिकार हुई थी, डिरेलमेंट हुई थी, और ये हादसा के चलते 9 पैसेंजर को मौत हो गई थी, 36 लोग घायल हो गए थे। आप गए थे, जरूर आप गए थे, आप ट्रॉली में चढ़ के गए थे, मैंने देखा है टीवी पे। लेकिन यहां भी मेरा सवाल यह है कि हम यहां बड़ी बड़ी बात करते हैं कि बुलेट ट्रेन चलाएंगे, गति शक्ति करेंगे, फलाना करेंगे, सब ठीक है, लेकिन हमारा बेसिक और फंडामेंटल जो हमारे रेलवे की जिम्मेदारी होते हैं, इसको निभाने में हम क्या असफल रही है अभी भी, ये हमें देखना पड़ेगा। तो मैं सजेस्ट करूंगा बैक टू बेसिक्स फेनोमेना भी अपनाना चाहिए। कब बुलेट ट्रेन चलेगी मुझे पता नहीं। अभी जमीन लिया जाता है, गुजरात में कुछ जमीन लिया गया, महाराष्ट्र में क्या हाल पता नहीं, कब ये शुरू होगी पता नहीं मुझे। अगर होगा तो बढ़िया होगी, लेकिन मुझे ये देखना पड़ेगा कि जहां हिंदुस्तान में रोजाना मान लीजिए कि 2.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग रेलवे में सफर करते हैं, वहां हमारे रेलवे की दफ्तर अगर फंडामेंटल जो मतलब रिक्विजिशन है, सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी, ये देने में अगर नाकामयाब रहे तो हमारी ये तरक्की की क्या मायने रखते हैं, ये आपको देखना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि ये रेलवे की जो हादसा हुई थी बंगाल में, जलपाईगुड़ी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, उसके बाद जो सामने उभर कर आए थे, जिस वजह से ये हुई थी, वो था कि ये रेल जहां आईएमएफ कोच इस्तेमाल किया गया, 2018 साल से आईएमएफ कोच डिकमीशन हो गया, एलएचबी कोच की वहां सहमति दे चुके हैं कि एलएचबी कोच की इस्तेमाल होगी, लेकिन क्यों नहीं वो बीकानेर गुवाहाटी ट्रेन में वो क्यों नहीं अटैच किया गया था। दूसरी बात, आपका ट्रैक्शन मोटर गाड़ी से इंजन से निकालकर बाहर चले आ रहे हैं, क्यों ऐसा हो रहे थे? क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है कि इतने बड़ी बड़ी बात हो रहे हैं, कवच की बात हो रहे हैं, सुरक्षा की बात हो रही है, लेकिन ट्रैक्शन मोटर निकाल के इंजन से बाहर चले आते हैं और पायलट को पता नहीं चलते। जब जर्किंग हुई तब पायलट को पता चला कुछ हादसा हुई, जाके देखते हैं 16 कोच निकल गए, डिरेलमेंट हो गए। क्यों? ये क्या हम संभाल नहीं सकते? आप कहेंगे कि कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल कोई हमारे जो आंकड़ा है उसमें मौत नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, ठीक है, आंकड़ों की बात अलग है, लेकिन जलपाईगुड़ी में ये घटना घटी है या नहीं? 14 जनवरी को ये घटना घटी है या नहीं? इसका तो कम से कम उल्लेख होना चाहिए था रेल बजट में। ये रेल बजट में इसको जिक्र होना चाहिए था, लेकिन आपने इस बात पे कभी कुछ बोलते नहीं। अब बढ़ चढ़ा के बात करना एक चीज होते हैं। हो गया सर? सर 5 मिनट। सर, अकॉर्डिंग टू द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स, एज मेनी एज 141 out of 285 projects under the railways, nearly 50% are under the delayed category. The Infrastructure and Project Monitoring Division in its report has also highlighted the fact that project agencies are not reporting revised cost estimates and commissioning schedule for many projects, which suggests that time and cost overrun figures are underreported. दूसरी बात यह है मंत्री जी, दूसरी बात यह है दर्शना बहन जी, दूसरी बात यह है, I would like to draw the attention of the House to the latest report of National Crime Record Bureau, which states that more than 13,000 train accidents across the country have killed nearly 12,000 railway passengers in 2020. It means that on average 32 people lost their lives every day in these accidents in 2020. It is equally important to note that these are the statistics from a period when 45% of the passenger trains in the country were not being operated due to the coronavirus pandemic. The government should pay due attention to this fact and should ensure that the announcements that are being made for ascertaining safety and security, be it in the form of coverage or otherwise, are actually capable of reverting train accidents and saving the precious lives of our people. रेल की जो बजट में इसका कोई जिक्र ही नहीं है, लोगों को पता नहीं चलते कि क्या हो रहा है। देखिए, नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड ब्यूरो की मैं बात करते हैं, मैं अपनी मनगढ़ंत कोई बात नहीं करते यहाँ। तो बात यह है कि आप बड़ी बड़ी बात तो करते हैं। मैंने बहुत सारे यहाँ के मेंबर ये बात उठाई कि रेलवे प्राइवेटाइजेशन या कॉर्पोरेशन किस राह पे जा रहे हैं। मैंने ये जरूर कहूंगा कि रेलवे प्राइवेटाइजेशन की रास्ता अपना रहे हैं। इसके सबसे बड़े उदाहरण क्या है? तेजा ट्रेन। द प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ तेजा ट्रेन रिसेंटली हैज फर्दर प्रूव्ड दैट यू आर गोइंग फॉर प्राइवेटाइजेशन, एंड as a consequence of which the railway employees who have been serving the rails under any circumstance, under all adversities, under sun and the rain, they are being alienated. They are being alienated because now the operators of those trains will be the individual owner. मैं ये इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि देखिए, आप लोगों ने क्या कर रहे हैं। आप T18 एक सक्सेस थे, while the T18 मतलब train 18 was a great success. What is the need to import train sets from overseas? I think which insults the railwaymen's creativity. Where is Make in India? 150 trains mean about 5,000 coaches and 400 locomotives, which shall be supplied by the private companies. This will have a direct effect on प्रोडक्शन यूनिट्स दैट एम्प्लॉय थाउजेंड्स ऑफ वर्कमेन। ये क्या आपको देखना नहीं चाहिए? अरे आपने क्या कर रहे हैं अभी? आपने कह रहे हैं कि 400 माइल वंदे भारत ट्रेन चलाएंगे। हल्ला तो होते हैं, देयर इज ए ह्यूज हाई फैलुटिन प्रोपागेंडा इन रिगार्ड टू वंदे भारत। लेकिन ये वंदे भारत में क्या कहा गया है कि 400 ट्रेन की जरूरत है। इट अमाउंट टू फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मैं जनरल बजट में भी ये बात रखा था कि 400 वंदे भारत ट्रेन इन 3 years.
प्लीज कंक्लूड।
यू हैव मेड दैट टारगेट। सर हो गया। इसका मतलब ये होता है कि देयर बाय 133 ट्रेन आर टू बी मेड अवेलेबल ईच ईयर, देयरफॉर 11 ट्रेन आर टू बी मेड अवेलेबल एवरी मंथ एंड 3 per week for next 3 years. You have to you have to manufacture three. You have to manufacture three per week. Whether it is possible, if it is possible, then certainly you will be deserved. You will be deserved to be praised lavishly. But I want to know what is the roadmap of achieving this target.
Okay.
Whether per week 3 tents could be manufactured in the present capacity that is available in our country. So I would like to know from this honorable minister. सर इसके बाद मेरा अपना क्षेत्र की और तो बात नहीं करने देते आप सर एक मिनट की जरूरत नहीं
पूरा देश
सर अपना बंगाल की और अपना क्षेत्र की सर मैं बंगाल की 2-4 मुद्दा रखना चाहते हैं कि नंबर ऑफ सैंक्शन प्रोजेक्ट इन ईस्टर्न रेलवे वेस्ट बंगाल हैव बीन पेंडिंग फॉर द लैंड एक्विजिशन पर्पस ओनली एक नंबर आजिमगंज नसीपुर रेलवे ब्रिज only 60% were completed in ROB number 131 at Chungapur Berhampur Panchanantala Baharampur ROB number 132 were sanctioned, but there is no progress in this project. RUB number 111 at Beldanga project sanctioned, but no progress in the work. Work sanctioned for number of low-cost RUB in Salat to Azimganj line under Howrah division, but there is nothing visible in this work. Dhubulia to Charatola railway line, Chopra to Islampur railway line, Bonga to Sarupnagar line, Krishnagar to Navadvip Dham line. One MRI machine is required in BR Singh Railway Hospital in Kolkata. This demand has been placed long back, but it is not being materialized. Proper supply of medicine in the railway hospital instead of generic medicine. बसर हो गया. मैं ये मानता हूं कि जितने प्यार की जरूरत होते हैं रेल हो सकता नहीं देती है, लेकिन ये जरूर सच है कि जब मंजिल आते हैं तब उतारने की मदद करती है. नमस्कार.
थैंक यू.